Okay, we are to lesson 27, which is really the last guided lesson in Code.org's Unit 3 and the Games Animations unit within Computer Science Discovery. And this is the platform jumper game. This was one of those first games we tried out at the beginning of the unit. So now we're going to make it. There is access to the rubric, to the planning guide. However, Code.org pretty much prompts you every step of the way. So I'm going to just kind of jump in with level 3 for time's sake. So if you recall, we had an alien that we could kind of move up, jump, land on platforms. We're trying to collect stars. So version history, so this is the initial version. So I've done this one before, but not this year. So first thing you will create for this game is the background. The sample game had 2 different backgrounds that were chosen according to the user's score. The first background has already been created for you. Look at the background 1 function and see how it works. All right, in order for background function to do something, you have to call it inside the draw loop. There's also an empty function named background 2. You will need to fill that function with new code. All right, so here's what I am going to do. Read the code, fill the function, second, test your by calling it inside the draw loop. All right, so they even tell you it's much easier to copy, paste, and make small changes to the code in text mode. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. I am going to take all of this code inside background 1. I'm going to copy it, and I'm going to paste it. And I'm just going to invert, or not really invert, but I'm just going to change some of these colors. So where I had dark blue, I'm going to make it black. And where I had yellow, I'm going to make that gray. Okay, and now I can go back to block mode. And right now I have background 1 in the draw loop, so if I run, I'm seeing background 1. All right, however, if I want to see background 2, I can just call background 2 at the moment, run, and I can see background 2 working. Okay, so pretty much everything is set. So I know it works. I'm just going to go back and I'm going to go ahead and set it up with an if statement. And I'm going to say if score, let's just say, is greater than 20. And do it if else. If it's greater than 20, we'll do background 2. And we can change that number later. All right. All right, score hasn't been declared yet. That's okay. I'm going to create it now. So I'm going a little bit out of order probably. I'm going to create a variable called score. Set it equal to 0. Okay. All right, so I'm going to finish there. So we've kind of got our background set. All right, level 4. All right, we just did a score variable. So, all right, we've already done that. So let's move on to level 5. Choosing your background. If statement, test your code. We've already done that. So we can move on to level 6. Okay. You also need a scoreboard so the player can keep track of the score. There's already a show score function, but it only shows the text score and not the actual score. All right, so let's go find that show score function. Okay, so we're going to add in, this should work. Sometimes it doesn't, and I really get frustrated why. But if we do plus score right there, we need to call show score inside our draw loop, and we actually want to call it after. Okay, and score has been declared. Oh, why did it not save? That stinks. Okay. Hopefully yours didn't do that, but okay. All right, so we now have a score showing. It should be showing 0. They have done something really weird with this lesson. I helped a few students with this already. This is correct. What I have, score has a value of 0. It should be showing 0. I think the reason it's preset with a width of 80, let's give it a width of 100. All right, and now it shows up. So it's because they tried to limit the size of it. I'm even going to make it a little bit bigger just to, okay. So if you may have to change that parameter to get your score to show up there. But that's a lot neater than having to do the text for the score and then do a separate text line to just show the variable. You can do this as what's called a concatenation. It combines a string with a variable to display it, and that value should change as you acquire points. All right, so we're good there. All right, now that you have your background and your variables, it's time to create your sprites that are part of the environment, such as your platforms. The sample game had 2 platform sprites. You'll make just one first and test it. All right, we're going to do them at the same time. Alrighty, so let's look at our animations tab. We have an alien, we have a platform, and we have a star. So we're just going to use what they gave us. Okay, so we're going to create a sprite. We're going to have platform 1. We're going to set the animation of platform 1 to platform. Then we're going to copy that. And we're going to paste it. And we're going to go ahead and do platform 2. Okay, and the platforms were starting kind of up high and falling. I'm going to set one of them with that center at about 100. So I'm going to do a 100. I'm going to do this one at 300. For a Y position for this one, I'm going to do 0. And for this one, I'm going to do negative 25. I'm going to give each one a velocity y so that it will start out moving. So platform 1 is going to have initial velocity y. I'm going to start it out at 3. We can change it later if we need to. Platform 2 will also get a 3, so they're going to be moving at the same speed. I click run, and I have 2 platforms. Now their width apart looks good, but they're moving a little fast. I'm going to change that velocity to 2. I'm also going to stagger them a little bit more. I'm going to stagger this one to like a negative 100. I'm going to put that one at maybe 25 just to get some separation. And there we go. So they're falling. They're not so close together. So that's decent. Okay. So I think we did everything we were supposed to do. From that standpoint, we will loop them in a second. All right, we're going to loop the platforms. So we're going to come down here. There is no function to loop platforms, so we're going to make one. So we're going to create a function called loop platforms. And it's going to be really simple. It's going to have, we're just going to start with 1, and we're going to say if platform1.y is greater. I'm going to use about 415. Then we're going to reset its y position. To negative, I always do negative 20, okay? I'm then going to copy that, paste it, and just change the platform 1 to a platform 2 on the pasted version. And this X should stay in the same spot. And now I'm going to call loop platforms inside my draw loop. And now I should have the platforms falling. They're going to go through the bottom of the screen, and they should appear to loop back from the top. There we go. Okay, so we can check that off. Okay, and I think we've already done that. Yep, lots of text, but we already did it. Simple enough. All right, now we're ready to get to our items. These are going to be more sprites, so we're going to have our stars. The item's exposition is a random number between 50 and... So we're doing random numbers. Okay, good to know. So we are going to create a couple more sprites. Or they might have just had one. Okay, we can do that. So we're going to call this item. We're going to set the animation of item to be the star. We're going to make its exposition a random number between 50 and 350. And its Y position is going to be a random number between -30, -60. Okay. Really, I should have done that the other way. It should have been between -60 and -30, but it'll figure it out. Okay. And we're going to give it, if you look, let's kind of see if we can see it. It falls a little bit faster than the platform. So we're going to give item a velocity Y of 3. And let's see it run. There we go. It's falling. Okay. I know this is called loop items. So I'm going to go ahead and make a second item just by copying those 3 lines of code. I'm just going to call this one item 2. Okay. So now we've got 2 of them. We're going to create a function. Called loop items. Again, we're going to check for its Y position. So we're going to say if, I'm just going to start with item.y is greater than 420. Then we want to give it a random X and Y. Just the same as we did when we created it. So I think it was 50 to 350. And item.y is a random number. I'll do it right this time. We'll do -60 to -30, going from least to great, minimum to maximum. Okay, and then we're going to copy that, paste it, and we'll have item 2. Okay, then we'll call loop items inside our draw loop. And now we've got stars falling, we've got platforms falling, they're looping, they're coming back around. All right, so they're getting close. Yep, we've already made a second item, so we'll move on to 13. Okay, so we finally have a player that we're going to make. So you can create your player, will fall from the top of the screen. So it wants us to simulate gravity. So we're going to create sprite. Okay, so just to kind of get creative with this, we're going to call this player. We're going to set the animation of player to be the alien. And there is a function called player fall that we don't have, we need to make. And that is going to be a counter pattern with the velocity, and we want it to increase. So player velocity y is going to get dot velocity y plus 1. I can't spell velocity. There we go. And then we'll call player fall inside our draw loop. All right, and now we've got an alien. So let's start our alien a little bit higher. So the x value is fine. Let's start him at 0. Okay, there we go. Alrighty, now we're gonna add some controls. So it's wanting us to use key down. So we're going to create a function called control player. And that's where we're going to have our up, left, and right. We're not going to have a down, but we're going to have 3 if statements, 1 for up, 1 for left, and 1 for right. So our left and right are not going to use velocity, our up will. So all of them will have a key down. All right, and we'll go ahead and do that one up. We'll make this one left. So left and right, we're just going to do a standard sprite.x counter pattern. So left is going to be .x minus 3. Oops. Okay, and to the right, player.x will get player.x plus 3. And for up, our velocity y, we want it to go up, so that's going to be a negative. We'll do a minus 3. Okay, and then we need to call control player. Okay, and that allows us to go up, over, okay. Okay, so to land on, so create a function called player lands. Let's do that. So you can see how all these functions, it's a lot, but it makes our draw loop less clustered or cluttered. So this is called player. Player lands, and this is a very easy one. We're just going to do a couple of collide. All right, and we're going to have player collide with platform 1 and player platform 2, and then we're going to call and I'm going to put that above player fall. So now, okay, we should be able to land on the platform and still jump up. All right. All right, we want to collect the items. So this is called collect items. So again, we're going to make a function. Oops, can't spell it. Collect items. We're going to do a is touching. And we're just going to say if player is touching item. Then we want to, and did we have a loop items? We're just going to do this. So we're going to copy that X and Y. And then after we reset it, we're going to increase score. Score is going to get score plus 1. Okay. We're going to copy all of that and just change, when we paste it, we're just going to change it to item 2. And then we want to call collect items. Okay, so we should be able to play now. We got a star, we collected it. We're jumping from platform to platform. All right, let's see if we can't get to 20. And see if we can get our score to change. Oh no. Okay, we fell off, so that might be something we want to include a game over. Okay. Okay, and we got above 20, and our background changed. Okay. So everything looks good, and then the last challenge would be like creating a game over screen. You could add, being able to move left and right on the platform. You could have lives, it's something we used to do regularly. You could have new items that give a different score. So lots of cool stuff, but what I have right now is kind of the basics of what you need to do. One thing, like if you wanted to have lives, like if your player, I would just do, like if player.y is greater than like 425, then that would like, restart, like respawn your player, decrease a life, or it could just send you to a game over screen. But overall, we've got everything done for the basics. If you have questions about challenge A, B, C, or D, let me know, shoot me a message. I can do a separate video if I need to, or if you're in my classroom, I can come talk to you about how to do that. All right.